Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We have a special chest request. This one is almost like a documentary that definitely reveals Elvis' generosity for his people and fans, and is called A Generous Heart. So if this is your request, I want to thank you sincerely. But if you are new, go ahead and crystallize that like button, subscribe to the channel for more reactions. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. I love documentaries that shows old clips and new clips. Oh goodness. Definitely one of my favorite years. Okay, so the full length is like 70 minutes. We might give it a try. Let's see.
We were in Jackson, Mississippi, and he got word that a little boy in the hospital was dying, and that he wanted to see Elvis, and he couldn't make it to the show. He was too sick to get to the show, and so we loaded up in cars, and we went to the hospital. And Elvis was wearing, Elvis met this little boy and talked to him, and he was wearing a cross that was made of garnets. And he took it off and he gave it to this child. And it was a real touching moment, just an hour or so before the show.
When my wife was, 9 or 10, and her sister was maybe a couple of years older than that, they would go down to Graceland and in the hopes of seeing Elvis. And they would go down there almost every weekend, Saturday or Sunday, and many times he would actually come down to the gate and shake hands and talk to people, and he did it often. Sometimes he did it by himself. Sandra remembers one time he actually came down riding a horse and was talking to him, and that just made their day, you know, and it just, again, shows the type of person that he is, that he would do that.
When Elvis started getting that money in and started becoming, he wanted to share it. He was a sharing person. And his dad got in early confrontations with him about giving so much away. He would say, son, you know, we're pretty wealthy. Man, you're giving people houses. And you're giving guys on television you don't even know Cadillacs. And people walk off the street in a dealership, you buy them a Cadillac. And pretty soon the bank account is going to take a hit. And Elvis would say, look, Dad, he said, look, I enjoy giving stuff away to people. He said, that's how I get my enjoyment. He said, I can go out and do a tour. He said, I can do a tour in 6 weeks and make $2 million. He said, I'm not worried about money.
Stuff like this, I mean, I could really bust out in tears, but I want to stay strong and watch the video. But did you hear what he said? Did you see how Elvis Presley mapped that out? I mean, yes, it is true. You could give so much that now you're broke and you're poor. But Elvis already did the math. He already said, you know, yeah, that's true. But after these tours, I'll come back with 2 mil. So it's okay. Don't worry. No celebrity today would say that. I promise. They would not say that. It's more how much I lost or how much I could save. And that is so sad to me because you don't get that today. You will not get that at all. We focus more on the loss versus the gain of helping others.
So I want to make people happy.
For all of Elvis Presley's accomplishments, I think his greatest joy, other than Lisa Marie, was giving to others. He loved to see the smiles and the looks on people's faces when he gave them things. He really was a generous and kind man.
I truly do.
The true measure of a man's success is not what he achieves and acquires for himself in his lifetime, but what of himself he gives to others. Elvis Presley touched the lives of millions and millions of people the world over. With his music, his movies, and his live performances, Elvis brought joy to the hearts of people everywhere. And even today, over 3 decades after his untimely death, Elvis's music and his legacy continue to have a lasting and profound impact on music and popular culture around the world. And yet, for all Elvis's phenomenal success as an entertainer, perhaps the King's most endearing quality and the greatest of his legacies was his enormous generosity to others who were less fortunate than he was.
I always felt like he tried to give back to his fans more than he took from them. And whenever he gave a piece of jewelry away on the stage, when he take off a ring and hand it to a fan, it was just an act of love on his part. He just loved his fans, and they're what made him work, and why he worked so hard was his fans. He loved his fans.
We had a guy in a group named Richard Davis, who was kind of he'd been with Elvis, he'd been in the Memphis Mafia, he'd been Elvis' stand-in in a bunch of his movies, Memphis guy, was a record promoter, and he was down on his luck. And Elvis heard about it, and he sent for him. He said, "Richard, I hear you down on your luck." And holidays were approaching. He said, "Yeah, Elvis." Elvis gave him a brand new Cadillac convertible and $10,000 cash. So maybe this will help you out. And he said, "Thanks a lot, Elvis."
On March 25, 1961, Elvis performed a benefit concert at the Block Arena at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. This performance raised over
Guys told me about this one,
$65,000
too.
toward the building of the USS Arizona Memorial, which was completed the following year. This donation made Elvis Presley the single biggest individual donor to the Pearl Harbor Memorial. In 1975, at a concert in Asheville, North Carolina, Elvis went on stage wearing a huge opal and diamond ring on his finger. This ring was reportedly worth between $35,000 and $40,000. During the concert, Elvis saw a little girl in the front row who was sitting in a wheelchair. He took the ring off his finger and gave it to the little girl. There was no publicity about this, just the enormous satisfaction that Elvis got from seeing the look on the little girl's face. Elvis reportedly bought close to $700,000 worth of jewelry in the last 5 years of his life, most of which he gave away.
I was sitting by the stage, and he came over to me and he says, he leaned over and he says, "Where's your case?" And he's up there singing, "Where's your case?" And I said, "It's right here." He said, "Set it up here." I set my case up on the stage, and he just got jewelry out of it, and he was giving it to people on the people on the front row and he was just giving away all this jewelry. The difference in Elvis and everyone else was that he obviously loved his fans. He was so honest. You just didn't doubt that he was pure as a driven snow. He was just a good person, and people knew that. His fans knew that.
Elvis's great spirit of generosity, giving, and compassion for those less fortunate than him lives on to this day. Former wife Priscilla Presley and daughter Lisa Marie Presley continue Elvis's philanthropy and honor his memory through the Elvis Presley Foundation. The foundation supports charities and community programs such as Presley Place, which provides homeless families up to 1 year of rent-free housing, child daycare, career and financial counseling, family management guidance, and other assistance to help people regain their independence and self-esteem. In 1983, the Elvis Presley Memorial Trauma Center was established at the Regional Medical Center in Memphis. I'm a patient.
To Hawaii, you become elated, and that made him feel good. He didn't play golf, he didn't fish, he didn't hunt, all that stuff. And to give stuff away and make people happy, that's what he enjoyed.
Oh my goodness. I honestly was not ready for this. Because if I only knew, I would have had my napkin ready. But you don't find those type of qualities in today, and that's why it hurts. It makes you mad, but it hurts more than anything that these morals of kindness and generosity is no longer. It really does hurt because it's that easy. It is that easy to help somebody or give to somebody. I think the other day, Mr. Beast, he helped pay for the surgery. I'm not sure. I didn't see the video, but he helped 1,000 blind people to see. And this is one person. Imagine if more people were to help, or more people cared, I'll say. This would be a totally different world. But the sad part is, it's only 1 or 2 people that are doing this. Or maybe there's some that remains anonymous, and I get it. But if there was more people that cared, life would be so beautiful. But seeing this video about Elvis, even with the Cadillac, helping someone buy a vehicle, for one, helping a person buy a vehicle, on top of that, $10,000 because of whatever other coverages that they may have to face. You have family members that wouldn't even do that for you, and they probably have the ability to do that. I mean, it just hurts. But I hope these videos encourage more and more people to sincerely help those who are in sincere, dire need of help. Now, I know there's a plenty of bad apples out there that ruins it for most, but you got to do it from the heart. You kind of know when it's sincere. But my gosh, now I'm curious to watch the 70 minutes worth. So I don't know. We probably would have to chop it up into pieces, or 10 to 30 minutes each segment, but that was so beautiful. So if this was your crystalistic chest request, huge appreciation. But I'm curious, for those at home, what puts a crystal smile on your face? I'm ChestCrystal, and until the next video, thank you.